Welcome back to the channel. If Alberta were ever to become a sovereign state, one of the most critical questions wouldn't just be about borders or currency. It would be about power. Who holds it? How is it structured? And how do we prevent it from becoming the very thing many Albertans say they are trying to escape from? Would a future Alberta adopt a presidential system like the United States, a parliamentary system like Canada, or something entirely new? A hybrid designed specifically for Alberta's unique demography, economy, and political culture. Tonight we're going to break that down. Right now, Alberta operates under a parliamentary system inherited from the Westminster tradition. The executive, which is the premier, and the cabinet is drawn directly from the legislature. If the government loses the confidence of the legislature, it fails. The advantage? Efficiency and familiarity. Albertans already understand the system. There would be no duplication of political culture, no steep learning curve. It preserves continuity and avoids institutional shock. But critics argue that parliamentary systems can centralize too much power in the premier's office, especially when one party holds a strong majority. Party discipline can turn elected representatives into extensions of the executive branch. If the goal of independence is greater accountability and local empowerment, is simply replicating the current model enough? A presidential system like that of the United States separates executive and legislative powers. The president is elected independently of the legislature. Cabinet members are not legislators. Power is divided. The advantage? Clear separation of powers, strong checks and balances. No single branch dominates the other easily. But presidential system can also produce gridlock. If the legislature and executives are controlled by opposing parties, paralysis can follow. For a smaller population like Alberta, just over 4 million people, constant institutional conflict could hinder economic agility. Presidential systems also personalize politics. They can elevate political polarization, especially in heterogeneous society. Is Alberta's political culture suited for that level of structural confrontation? Now, here's another question. Should Alberta itself be federal? Currently, Alberta is divided into municipalities, cities, towns, and rural counties, but sovereignty would remove the federal layer above it. Some argue a unitary state makes sense. Streamlined governance, fewer bureaucratic layers, faster decision-making. Others argue for entrenched constitutional protection for municipalities or regions. Calgary, Edmonton, rural Alberta to prevent over-concentration in one urban corridor. Given Alberta's geographic spread and economic diversity, energy corridors, agricultural regions, urban tech hubs, some degree of decentralized constitutional protection may be wise. But a full confederation-style model likely unnecessary. Alberta is not a collection of sovereign provinces. It is one province becoming one state. So what would likely be the most stable and appropriate model? The strongest argument points towards a reformed parliamentary republic. Keep the parliamentary structures Alberta already understand, but strengthen institutional checks, fixed election dates, a stronger independent judiciary, clear separation between executive authority and legislative oversight, direct citizen initiative referendum mechanisms, term limits for the head of government. These avoid institutional shock. It maintains administrative continuity and it reduces the risk of duplicating power struggle seen in highly polarized presidential systems. In other words, reform what exists. Don't reinvent governance from scratch. At the end of the day, constitutions are not about ideology. They are about stability, accountability, and prosperity. The question is not whether a system looks powerful. The question is whether it restrains power. For a future Alberta state, diverse, economically driven, and regionally distinct, safest path may not be dramatic transformation. It may be disciplined evolution. A parliamentary framework constitutionally strengthened to prevent overreach and protect individual liberty. Because independence, if it ever comes, would not just be about autonomy from Ottawa. It would be about building something better. And that requires structure, not just sentiment. If you found this analysis helpful, subscribe. Share your thoughts below and let's continue the conversation. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.